G'day, superstars! G'day, legends! Peps. And he'll be back soon. Jdog. Round 11 has been placed away. Some movers, some shakers, more teams being heartbreakers. It was a cracker of a weekend. Here he is, my friend, the great man, Jamie the Jdog Wallace. We had to start without you, but more importantly, what a belter of a weekend of football. It started on Thursday night with a battle that was one for the ages down your way in Geelong, and it finished all the way yesterday afternoon where a little fella down at the G just put his mark on the competition, and it was exciting to be there first and foremost. How are you, great man? And welcome to another big show.
Thank you. Excited to be here. What a wonderful conclusion to Sir Doug Nicholls' round.
I know. And it's going to continue this week. There's some NT games. This is the part of the year that I can't stand. The next 5 weeks, J-Dog, we've got buys every single week for the next 5 weeks. So we might as well just get this one out of the way. Should they continue with this absolute travesty that is buy, or should they simply just go, have everybody have a week off, play a marquee game, and then come back the week after?
It's a great question. I'm not a big fan of the rolling buy. A week off would be good. Just like a holiday. Like, yeah, 1 week, get it done. There's no compromise because there's always going to be a compromise when your club gets the buy or not.
Yep.
Let's just do 1 week. Let's just square it up.
Yep. It's just, unfortunately, J-Dog, it's just compromise after compromise after compromise, and that is what happens now with the AFL. It's just, doesn't really matter at all who, when you play, we'll just tell you when to play, and we'll just rig it for everyone. And, yeah, don't like it. So, but let's get out of the way. We both hate it. Let's just get back to it. I'd be even happy if they went 10 teams, 8 teams. If they did it that way. I'd be happy with that. 5 games one weekend, 4 games the weekend after. But just don't.
They used to do that. I think they used to, didn't they?
But, the broadcasters wanted games every single weekend. But I don't even know why we have it called a fixture. I don't know why it's called a draw. It's just called a throw it up in the air and we'll see what happens sort of thing. Anyway, massive results on the weekend, and that means that we've got a belter of a ladder to have a look at, big fella, because if you have a look at this, Collingwood, team that I picked at not even make finals this year, sitting beautifully on top on 36 points. Brisbane Lions, belter of a win against Hawthorn after coming back from the D's last week. Gold Coast solidified their spot in the top 8. They are a game clear and also have a game in their pocket as well, if you remember. You've also then got Adelaide jumping into the top 8 on percentage. You got the Cats on 28. Hawthorn, they I'll say this, J-Dog, I reckon in about 3 weeks they'll be game out of the 8. GWS do what GWS do. They win when they should and they lose when they shouldn't. And Fremantle just, keeping their hopes and dreams up. Same with Essendon. Melbourne having a great win over the Swans yesterday. You said it was a bit of a false economy. I tend to think a little bit not. Carlton, Sydney, St Kilda and Port Adelaide. They've got so many issues. We haven't got enough time to go through those. You've got Richmond on 12. You've got North Melbourne, who put up a decent fight for 3 quarters, and I think they've been playing into the Michael Voss handbook of we'll just play 3 quarters and that's all we need to. They'll be going over to the NHL as well. And the West Coast Eagles sitting on 4 points and 64.6%, but they probably weren't the worst team over the weekend. Thoughts and opinions, great man.
What I am willing to concede now, Peps, I haven't, and this is the first time on this show, so I don't know if you want to record this. If Tom Roker, you're out there, maybe you want to record this.
We record every episode live on Facebook.
No, but you might want to keep this for your own personal video files under the folder titled Prawn. I think Suns are playing finals. Lock it in.
Hold on. Say it again. Actually,
Suns.
wait a second. Say it again.
Suns are playing finals.
And just one more time in this view so I can just get multiple angles of it.
Do I need to shift as well?
No. Just say it.
Suns are playing finals.
They are playing finals. What's made you come around to the Suns after... Well, we've been going on 8 years with this great show. Lots of loyal people across the world. Lots of loyal people in this beautiful city know that you have a bit of a dark spot for the Suns. But what happened on the weekend for you to go, they're in?
I thought the game on the weekend is the kind of game that they cough up.
Yeah,
Now,
true.
I have seen enough now of them winning away in games where I would have marked them down for the loss, and Sun supporters would have said, here we go.
Yep.
Now, they have got a game in hand. They're on 32 points. So if you wanted to roll that forward and assume that Gold Coast had a win in round 0, they could be second, maybe first on the ladder right now.
It's exciting times. I reckon the great man Tommy Roker up there in Queensland, he's been banging them home for virtually every year since we started. When they were, playing on the smell of an oily rag, he said that they were playing finals. He was pretty confident last year, but this year he said top 4. And he is looking pretty... They are just... You know what it is, Jdog? It's like the boy bodies have become men's bodies. The men have just solidified their positions. But people like Tuke Miller don't have to be the be-all and end-all now. Sam Collins doesn't have to be the be-all and end-all down there. Ben King doesn't have to be the be-all and end-all. They are just spreading the load beautifully, whether it's Walter up forward, whether it's Rowell and Anderson going through the middle. It's just, they've got winners everywhere, and they've got a coach who's setting them up for success as well too, who's won grand finals, 2 as a player, 3 as a coach. He knows what it takes to get to a premiership, and he's not compromising, and he is batting for this team. And I think there are a lot of people that would love to see Gold Coast play finals and actually get a win or 2. I would love to see what they would do to an Adelaide or a Geelong up there on the Gold Coast. That'd be a fascinating contest. And I tell you what, it'd be a game you'd want to go and watch. I reckon it'd be an absolute corker up there. Gold Coast Stadium, packed to the teeth. It'd be immense. Couple of things coming through. Love it, Jules Julio. G'day, gents. Good to see you again, my friend. Rocco Tomasi, hey, he's back. He says, sack or Ross. And I think Ross the boss, or sack Voss. Sack Ross, sack Voss. I don't know. They're both in absolute turmoil right now. Whilst we're on that, let's just have a quick look at the games and the results from the weekend. Geelong Western Bulldogs, what a belter. Was that the game of the year, you think, Jdog, so far?
No.
No? You don't reckon?
It was a shootout, but it wasn't the game of the year.
Oh, it was... I reckon the doggies in that third quarter probably kicked themselves out of it a little bit. They should have solidified it.
Are you forgetting the round we had just 2 rounds ago when the last, I think in total across the spread for all of the games, there's something like 27 points?
Yep.
That was amazing, that round.
Oh, no, that was a great round, but that was just a great game. It was forward and back. The Dogs were out of it. Geelong shoot back. The Dogs were back within a kick, and then Geelong just went away with it as well too. So I'm thinking, you put Dangerfield into that team, but you also put Darcy into that team. Wow, that is the first fight of Rocky 3. Clubber Lang took the title. Let's go back to the little bit later on down the track and see if good boy Rocky Dogs can get back. Essendon versus Richmond. I must admit, I turned this game off at halftime. I was bored. It bored me. And then from what I saw, Richmond came completely out of nowhere, got in front, and then Essendon did what Essendon do. Is Essendon the false economy at the moment? Do you believe in Essendon, Jdog?
No.
Okay,
no.
Great.
Treading water for me, mate. Treading water.
They're in the friend zone. They are in the friend zone. Richmond, their rebuild is going better than, because you consider how much time they've had, is going better than St Kilda's. It's going better than North Melbourne's. It's going better than West Coast's. It's going better than so many more teams at the moment. So they are on a pathway to success. I love what they're doing. Carlton, I picked Carlton to win this game. I cannot believe that once again, they have just screwed the complete pooch on that one. GWS, when you think GWS aren't even going to get close, they serve up what they did against Fremantle the week before, and then they come out and do that. You could never count them out. And they had a lot of players out as well too. Toby Green, I've told you, I love him. I think he's awesome. 250 games. He put the team on his shoulders and said, come along with me, boys, and they get the win. Hawthorn versus Brisbane. I didn't think Hawthorn would win this one. I thought Brisbane, after what they served the week before against Melbourne, they came out and Brisbane did a Brisbane thing. So I don't count them out just yet, but I'm not sold on Brisbane. I think the loss of Danaher has been massive, massive, massive to their forward structure. They haven't got that key pillar. Logan Morris, I know, is going to be eventually that big pillar, but he needs somebody else to take the brunt, and I don't think they've got that at the moment. And Hawthorn, they've got the Collingwood, Geelong, and Western Bulldogs, I think it is, over the next 3 weeks.
Tough.
And they're not playing good footy at the moment. North Melbourne, Collingwood. North Melbourne, they were pretty good for, like I said, 3 quarters, and then they just fell away in the back end of the game. Collingwood do what Collingwood do. Hopefully you're recording this one, Jamie, but I'm going to put my foot in it, and I think Collingwood are going to play finals too.
Ooh, you're really
well. I did pick them not to make
I
did pick them not to make the 8, but you have a look at their draw into the back end of the season. They might only lose another game or two. So they've done all the hard work. They're defying everything at the moment, and I just do not know how. I don't know who is going to beat Collingwood at the moment. I think the only way Collingwood will lose or not even make a grand final, or at least a prelim, is if Collingwood beat Collingwood. Someone has to come out and do a Cox on Collingwood. That's the only way I can see something like that happening at the moment.
And Collingwood have got players to come back.
They have, and that's my concern for the rest of the teams. But I also look at it and go, well, yes, they have got players to come back, but you know, I still look at that age bracket and it's like everything is going perfectly for them.
Yeah.
Something is going to give, I reckon. I think something is going to give, but I love to hear what they say. Fremantle versus Port Adelaide. I want to throw this one to you because I got a question from Jake Ramsey on the chat. Great to have you on, Jake. He said, why can't Jack Lukosius come good? What does Port need to do to get that bloke kicking goals? Because he was brought from Gold Coast. He was a goal-kicking midfielder. He's a big unit, and to be honest, I forgot completely about him down at Port Adelaide.
Just injured. He's just injured.
Yep.
Let's just. Kane Corns called it at the start of the year, and you know that I love Kane Corns.
Yep.
Everyone knows that I like Kane Corns. I think this year has just been a write-off. Let's just put him on ice and restart next year.
You're not going to make finals, so would you?
Not going to make finals.
Would you just do the handover now? Just swap it over and give him a chance?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. What
have you got to lose? Kenny, thank you for your time. We're not going to make finals. We're going to move you on. We're going to give him the last 12 weeks to get his bearings and figure out who's going to play and who's not going to play. Otherwise, you're dancing with your sister, mate.
Peps. I've never owned a farm.
Yep.
But this is where I would be loading the list of 40 on the back of a truck, driving it down to some sale yards, letting the coaches and the recruiters walk around and start to poke and prod the little pockets there and go, everyone's a trade. Take what you want, give us your best offer, and let's start again.
Fire sale.
I am there with this list.
Fire sale. Are you happy for Butters to go?
I love Butters, but it'd be a travesty to see another player like Travis Boak or a Robbie Gray just rot in this team at the moment.
Yep, fair enough. I love it. I love the passion. You got to love the passion when they do this.
Oh my God! They killed Kitty!
Yeah, it's happened again. Yeah, I didn't actually get to see the game, but from all the reports, it just was not one that you'll be putting on replay fairly quickly.
Well, Peps, you are a 300, and I get this number at the wrong, 357 game superstar.
77, but we're not counting.
77. Thank you. I missed the whole season of yours then. The rain was beyond droplets.
Yeah.
It was just like pouring out of a jug.
Was it like Forrest Gump when Bobby was talking about the rain? There was like the chubby rain, and then
Chubby
there was
rain,
sleet
rain coming up from under the ground.
It came from the left, and then it came from the right, and then there was
Peps.
that rain that hits you on the face, and you can't see.
Peps,
Yes.
when you get blown away by basically 50 points in those conditions, it's 150,
Yep.
right? It's 120 at least.
Can I ask a question?
The real dry conversion.
Can I ask a question from that game?
Sure.
Take the bias out of it. The hyphen gets concussed by Alex Pearce coming through. He's got 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Take out the concussion element of it. Is that a 3-week suspension?
I thought you were going to talk about something about the game.
No. I had to ask about that.
Yes, because we've seen it. I'm not going to get into the argument about it.
No, but we've had ones that are legitimate.
Tackles that have concussions are 3 weeks.
And this is another one where the guy ran into him, literally, and he's got 3 weeks. We're on the same page. We are on the same
situations where it's a concussion, whether you're marking, you're blocking, you're holding, you're not trying to do anything, it's 3 weeks.
Yep. No, it's bullshit. It is an absolute farce. And if they don't get this stuff right, people won't have to worry about not having Super Saturday because no one will be watching it. That's what I humbly think. Adelaide versus West Coast. Not going to go on too much about that. Adelaide, great win. They get the percentage. That percentage gets them into the 4. These are the type of results that they need to have. West Coast weren't the worst on the weekend. I think that was the team that played us. I was at the game yesterday. Melbourne smashed Sydney. That should actually have been close to 100. I will honestly admit. At one stage, that scoreline was like 9-14, 9-15. And then the floodgates opened in the back half. Cozzy Pickett, just a freak. Like, freak. There's if anyone can get the chance, go to the third quarter. And second quarter it is. It might be the last quarter. Anyway, it's one of them. There's a ball up, and ball comes in the forward 50, and he swoops and like just slices through. Like everyone is just standing there, and it was like straight through the middle of it. And then he went the Petrarca kick, and he hit the post. And he just sat back and go, this guy, he was on fire, Jamie. He could have had 10. He could have had 10, but he didn't, unfortunately. In Sydney, they're in trouble. Mills has got another week, comes back. He's the tampon. He's in for 1 out for 4. He's no good either. So he's in a bit of trouble. And last game of the weekend, I think they're back. I think shit Kilda are back. 61-80. I think that scoreline's a little bit flattering as well. Gold Coast just do what Gold Coast do, and they win on the road, and it's awesome. Can't ask for much more than that. Yep.
Can I just say about St Kilda?
Yep.
I watched them both intently last week and this week. Can I just say, and who's on? Is anyone from St Kilda watching it tonight with us?
Well, Buzz will be. Buzz will watch the replay. He loves the replay. Buzz will watch the replay.
I've been chatting to Buzz on the chat. I don't think St Kilda are that bad, Peps. It's just their polish with that final 2 kicks into the 50. They're actually moving all right. They're actually getting to the right spots. They just lack that polish to take the mark or to hit that kick correctly.
Okay.
Am I right? Buzz, are you saying the same as me? I'm not as dirty on the Saints because I just think that lack that touch of class that these other clubs have at the moment. It's not fundamentally broken.
What frustrates me about St Kilda is they beat Geelong in an all-time classic round 2 at Marvel Stadium, right? They then go and beat the Power over in your neck of the woods. They then have a win against the Dockers at home, which is okay. But then they just lose games by big margins. They lost to the Dogs by 60. They lost to the Lions by 50. They lost to the Eagles by close to 30. So they either win against a good opposition or they just get blown away. I don't know. Is Ross making a difference? I think that they've got too much talent on that list. And I think their list isn't the worst running around. But I don't think Ross has released the handbrake, as they would say in the classics.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I just see that they went in, what was it? 25, 26 scoring shots. It's just a bit of flying. Losing's losing, right? I get that. I know where they are. But there's just that little bit off.
Yeah.
I say Port Adelaide are terrible.
Yeah.
Like Port is unwatchable. Carlton can't move the ball. They are unwatchable.
Yep.
I think Saints can move the ball. They just can't get that mark around the 50 arc.
What would St Kilda be without Jack Higgins?
Well, once again, that stat blows my brain that he's the number one. Is he leading Coleman still?
No, he's not leading the Coleman anymore, but he's dropped a couple. He's on 28 though, but he's 5 behind. But that's the thing. Like, if he's your number one forward, you stop Higgins, you almost stop St Kilda. I don't know where they're going to kick a big score from.
That's true.
He did kick. He had none on the weekend. But here's the thing, right? I have to address one thing before we go any further. He's done it 2 weeks in a row, Jdog.
Bags, bags, bags. We love it when they kick 'em. Bags, bags, bags. It's gotta be 6 or more.
Jeremy Cameron.
Bags, bags, bags. We love
he's a
it when
freak.
they kick 'em. Ooh.
I love it. How could you not love what he is bringing at the moment, J-Cam? 7 last week, 6 this week. Unbelievable. He's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm loving the chat is going absolutely nuts tonight. Like, I don't know what happened. I think this might be it's almost like the halfway mark of the season. Everyone's just coming off the vent. I think people missed confession on the weekend, so they've just come into us. We've got screw the Pies. St Kilda spent 10 years screwing up draft picks and throwing them away. Yep. Well, where do you want to start? McCartan over Petrarca? Here's one. We could keep going and going and going. Sicily needs a spell. I reckon Jules Julio is right on this. I think there is definitely something wrong with Sicily. Even just seeing some of the footage of him running, he was running on the spot, Jdog. There was no power. There was no electricity in his work rate. It just seemed
Long sleeves.
tired and
It's long
cumbersome.
sleeves. I put it in the chat already.
Leave long sleeves alone, mate. Us
It's a
long
shit
sleevers.
move.
No.
It's a shit look.
On a Hawthorn jumper, yes, but long sleeves, do not pick on a long sleeve. But he's got something wrong with him. He's got something wrong with him. He does
Can't mark with long sleeves.
You can.
You can't mark with long sleeves.
So
It slops out.
You didn't get near it anyway. Ross played 8 in defence, mugged the Suns talls all day. The game plan from 2010. St Kilda is shit. What can I say? Collingwood isn't special. We lose every week, and it's pure shit Kilda when we beat them. Ross has a terrible game plan. St Kilda need a defender. They do need a defender. So it makes you think, why are they wanting to spend 12 million over 7 years for Tom De Koning when Rowan Marshall is there?
Because
split the money and go and get a decent defender and maybe another forward. Oh, you had Membry. Maybe another forward who can actually take a grab and play, unlike King that you signed up to 2032. Can't get on the park. He's the Bruce Reed of the AFL.
Don't know. Maybe they're thinking with TDK they get 2 players for 1, so therefore throwing.
Oh, and Michael Tuck played 400 plus games in long sleeves and won the most flags ever.
Nah, don't rate it. I just don't rate it. I see your point. I just don't rate it.
I hear ya. I see ya, but I'm not paying attention to you. Unbelievable. Alrighty. Hey, rising star. Have a look at this bloke. Angus Clark. Wasn't he a bit of a firecracker for the Essendon Football Club? Has his debut. Kicks 3 off the wing. Bit of pace about him. A bit of spunk. Weighs about 45 kilos, dripping wet. 16 disposals, 8 marks, 3 goals. Round 11. First game. Probably even maybe might have even pinched a Brownlow vote. I think even Dermy said that he was voting him almost the second best player on the ground Friday night. That is a massive achievement. Good luck for his career. Don't be the new Dean Polo. Have your first game is your best game, and then you don't do anything else after that. Don't do that. Have a career that everybody is going for. And he probably fits into the Essendon mould of someone under 180 centimetres.
All right.
Good on him.
New segment.
All right.
New segment.
Let's go.
New segment.
Wait,
No,
main
new
screen.
segment,
Main
Peps.
screen. Back. Go for it. All right.
We're going to play
Mhm.
a game, you
All
and
right.
I,
Yep.
with the rest of these risers, because they're all young kids.
Yep.
The game is, what would they do if they weren't playing AFL? So I want you to bring up that player. I want you to bring up old mate again on the
mate.
screen.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right.
Bring him up.
Rising star. Yep. All
I'll
right.
just wait.
Here we go. Angus Clark. Yep.
Look at the picture of him.
Mm-hmm.
Is it up there?
Yep.
Not there yet.
It's up there. You've got a delay. Yes, you've got a delay in your buff. All right.
Oh, there we go.
All
All
right.
right. What would he be doing if it wasn't AFL? Look at him and then tell me his occupation if he wasn't playing AFL.
Enforcer for the Banditos.
What
No,
is it
actually-
about that image that says you Banditos and
Just-
Enforcer?
I just don't know. He's the one. They're the ones you have to worry about. That don't look it. Now, look, I reckon and I want everybody on the chat to go bananas with this one as well. What do you think if Angus Clark, looking at the photo on the screen, and for those who are listening on the podcast, you might want to Google him. What would he be? Real estate agent. Yeah, first year real estate agent.
He looks very young.
You know what he
Do
looks
you know
like? You know what he looks like? Looks like a bank teller. Bit of a bank
Okay.
teller look about him.
Do you know what I think he looks like?
Primary teacher?
No,
No.
no. I think he looks like. I want you to think about industrial age England. He looks like a chimney sweep. Don't you think? Like if you sent him down the chimney, or he pops back up with a bit of soot and a little hat on, genuine chimney sweep.
He looks like if you put a little cap on him and a
Yeah.
jacket, it could be one of like Peaky Blinders. But
He does look like that.
a bit of a Peaky Blinder, but not the tough one, like the brother of the brother. You know what I mean? Like when there's a scrap, he's like the third one in, but they have to
Hello,
hold him
hello.
back. Hello,
I
hello.
know that silhouette.
Yeah, I think I've seen you before. Somebody looks
Um,
like oh, here we go, a jockey, car
Yes,
salesman.
genuine. Like a genuine hard-nosed Italian jockey. Oh, not Italian, sorry. Irish jockey.
He's got a bit of Craig Williams about him, the freckles. He looks like the kid from the Mad magazine, all grown up.
Does
Alfred
Rocco.
E. Newman. Alfred E. Newman. I think we got a new cop. We got a new segment. It's gonna rock every week now. Oh, I love it. Keep your opinions coming in. What you think about Angus Clark?
What would
If he
Angus
wasn't an
Clark be
AFL
doing
footballer.
if he wasn't playing AFL football just by looking at his picture?
All right, Jdog. Quickly, question for you at the moment, and I had a bit of a debate. Well, funny enough, I went and played golf on the weekend down at Anglesea.
Which
And
club?
just at Anglesea, great course. There was 11 of us, had a great hit, and then
How many groups?
3.
Good man. Good man.
Good.
Did you pair up with the third group? What'd you do? Join?
Back 9, we had 7 and a 4.
That's shit house.
It was about 4 o'clock at night, and no one could see what was going on. Anyway,
Yep.
got home, and I was having a bit of a chat to the potential number 1 draft pick, Cooper Duff Tyler, for a little bit as well too, just seeing how he's going, and so humble. Adam Swart as well too, one of the other guys who's in the NGA. So a couple of Calder Cannons boys were down playing a game, and they were staying down there as well too. Just all three boys, absolutely humble. Credit to their parents. I know Cooper's dad, close to 40 years. He's an absolute superstar. But these boys are just so humble, and I was just chatting about what's it like going through it all. Is it overwhelming? They just take it in their stride, mate. They just take it in their stride. But I was fascinated to find out that about the Coates League, because I asked a question with the APS, the grammar school football. There's a massive amount of talk about that. It seems to be what everybody is pushing for. Everybody wants to play. All the gun players are coming out of it, etc. And I simply asked him the question. I said, look, and I asked all the boys the question. What is it? Is the APS the penultimate? Is that taken over from the Coates League? And he simply said no. No matter how much the Coates League has had a bit of trouble, like they play for 3 weeks and they have 2 weeks off and they have a strangeness anyway. But no, he still thinks that the Coates League is still the top echelon, because everybody who plays Coates can play football. In the other league, you still got some. But I was just fascinated that they've got did you know about the anti-density rule?
No, what's that?
So they've got to have, I think, 3 players from each team have to be on the back half of the ground, and 2 of your team have to be in the back 50 to stop the congestion on the ground.
So genuine,
Yep. So they'll go, anti-density, free it up, and players have to go into the other half of the ground and into the 50 to open it up more.
Don't mind it.
It's stupid.
Like last night in Sandford.
Yeah, that's just, they should bring that in. But yeah, and also so things like, well, when players want to play, they'll get contacted by clubs, etc., and say, okay, I want to see Jamie Wallace play in the centre this week, and he has to play. They have to play the players in the guts. These are what the guys were telling me. They have to play them. They'll play them in the guts because clubs want to see this guy playing in the middle.
So, a Carlton would call up a whoever.
Yep. And this is what the 3 guys were just talking about as part of the conversation. I was just fascinated. So, yeah, if Jason Taylor from Melbourne calls up and says, look, I want to watch Jamie Wallace, I really want to see him in the middle this week, there'll be a message goes through and say, all right, you're going to play more in the middle. You're not going to do a middle forward rotation. You're going to just play middle and then. Absolutely fascinating. Do you know that they have to pay subs as well?
Okay. Why wouldn't you have to pay for
the Coates League? So you're playing in a representative competition, which is run literally by the AFL, and you have to pay subs for that. Mind exploded.
I'm probably not.
What?
But I never played a sport that is so much money. I've always played minority sports.
No, but I know you played hockey for a long time.
Mm.
Yeah, you would have to pay subs.
Everything you paid for your uniform. You paid for literally everything.
I get that, but if you're being picked to play in this league, it's not like your local team or anything along those lines. This is an AFL run league, and you have to pay subs. I didn't even know that. I thought what?
Peps, I had to pay for my own World's uniform. Yeah, but, literally pay for my own World's uniform.
Yeah, but that's just you. That's one
openings, person. Official polo, Australian emblem, all of that. Had to pay for that, and then I had to pay for my race stuff.
Oh, see, were you representing Australia though?
I was representing, so I had to pay for all of my Australian stuff. Representing my own country.
So you're paying to represent your country, but when you get a great result, they'll be putting your picture up on them saying, our Jamie Wallace was the one that... I was totally stunned.
I'm not surprised.
No, not surprised. I was a bit stunned by that, to be honest. But yeah, the 3 of them were just absolute joys, just to chat and just talk about footy. And they love it, and whichever teams that they go for, they are going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome for any club. Rightio. Jdog, I'm looking at... I'm just looking at some of the player stats at the moment and looking at who's the number one rated footballer at the moment. Who would you say is the number one rated player in the league right now?
As in, like, fantasy football.
No, in real football. In real football, who's the number one rated player in the league?
By which group
So
are you
this is
saying?
so every player has a player rating, right?
Yep.
And if you average
According
out,
to champion data?
I think it's a champion data one. I'm not too sure. It's off Wheelo ratings, which is pretty much the Ducks nuts anyway. The highest rated player is at 20.07.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you think that is? And he was thrown around as the best player in the competition last week.
Not like a Jordan Dawson or someone.
No.
Oh, I don't know. Date Gakos?
Nope. I'll give you a hint. He played on Thursday night. So that was Western Bulldogs versus Geelong.
Bailey Smith?
Nope.
Jeez, I'm never going to get this then.
Do you want me to just tell you?
Is it Bond?
No. The flying redhead, Ed Richards.
Really?
He is. I just watch him play and I love it. I think I've said this before. I love what he's dishing up at the moment. I just absolutely love what he is dishing up at the moment. Tristan Xerri is second. Noah Anderson third. Brayshaw third. And this is over obviously the course of the year. And then you've got Luke Jackson at 5 as well. Then you got the Bont, and then you got Tom Liberatore as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just fascinating just to see like where players, how they just like Bulldogs have got 3 in the top 8. Butters is next. Sarong, Rao, Warner, Miller, Sinclair, Heaney, Gawn, and move it on from there as well too. Angus Clark after one game, 15.7. He's on the list. Well, I'm going to have a look at that every week now just to sort of get a bit of a feel for how things are going. And even if you want to go like the last 5 games, it's Ed Richards, Xerri, Warner, Anderson, Gawn.
I don't even think an Ed Richards would come up in a Brownlow conversation.
I reckon he might pull a few this year, especially when the Bont wasn't there. But so the questions come up on the chat. Who out of those top 5 players would you want the most?
I heard Bont's name mentioned.
Yep. No, top 5 players.
Top 5 again? Sorry. Say it again.
Top 5. Richards, Xerri, Anderson, Brayshaw, Jackson. That's over the course of the year. But if we go the last 10 games.
No, just the top 5.
All right. Oh, it is the same.
Okay. Oh, I'm probably going to go Xerri.
Yeah? Interesting. I think I would go Anderson.
Great choice as well.
Yeah, I think I just he's leading from the front, mate. He's an absolute gun. They're doing so many things right up there at the moment in Gold Coast. There's been a bit of concern with we're not going to spend too much time on it because it's been played to death. But there's been a bit of concern with Carlton. There's been concern with Sydney. There's concern with Port.
Mm-hmm.
And take the bias out of it.
Yep.
And I'll probably throw in St Kilda as well. Who's been the biggest disappointment so far after 11 rounds this year?
Carlton, by far.
Okay.
By far.
Do you think that... Now, here's the question for you. Have they been a disappointment, or is this the real Carlton?
I think this is the Carlton that we've got. They are just not that good. I think their list is good. Their skills are terrible.
I just think that they're not good. I think this
Hello,
is the real
Echo.
Carlton. Yeah, no, but you were like, but you said this is the Carlton that we've got. I just don't think that they're any good.
I agree.
I look at the reliance on their top end talent, their game plan, which we know about, is contest and spread the ball, has been working for probably not this year and last year, but been working for years before that. But you've got a Curnow and Mackay who just cannot seem to fire at the same time. You got a Sam Walsh who
Ever.
just
Like has been a problem of theirs forever.
Roughhead and Franklin kicked 180 goals between them a season, and that was in the regular season, I think it was. These guys couldn't do. I think they did it a couple of years ago. I'll give that to them. But they should be bagging 60, 70 each this year, and they just cannot seem to do it. Sam Walsh, he just seems to have stagnated. Wiedering is making mistakes I don't think I've seen Wiedering do before. You've got like Blake Acres. He has been brilliant for them. He sort of disappeared a little bit. The Camporeale boys, who you thought were going to be the future, they have just not been getting games. They've been sort of pushed to the side after the first
We need to calm the chat about Silvani, calm this chat about offering him huge offers. He's come back and played 4 good games. I don't even think he was that effective on the weekend.
He's been very solid down back, probably better than but he is not the answer. I just look at it and go, they got rid of the guy who went to the Dogs, and I had his name on the tip of my tongue. He's gone over to the Dogs, and he has just absolutely destroyed it. He was great again on Friday. I came from Sydney, went to the Carlton and left. I've just gone blank, so I apologise for that, everybody. But they just seem to make the wrong decisions. They had Owies as a small forward. They got rid of him, and now they are killing for a small forward. Kennedy was the name, so thank you very much, Jules Julio. Sard seems to be just not as effective off half-back anymore. Mitch McGovern, he just seems to be injured all the time. And Cripps, I don't know what more this guy could do. And if I was Tom De Koning and I was going to be offered $5 million a season more to go over to St Kilda, I would go to St Kilda. Yes, for the money, but deep down, is this list going to take you to a flag?
Peps, look, their spine. Look at their spine.
Yep.
Cripper,
Mm-hmm.
Curnow,
Mm-hmm.
Wiedering.
Yep.
They have got something to build.
Yep.
It's just all of the other pieces are dog shit at the moment.
Here's the thing that you're forgetting about this, though, Jdog. Their best backman so far this year is 33 years of old Nick Haynes. Like, he came across and had a putrid first couple of weeks, but he's been really good since coming through. All right?
Yep.
Nick Newman, that was a travesty with him going down.
Yep.
Adam Sard, the running halfback, he's 30. Now, you were talking about the spine. Cripps, 30. Curnow, 28. Wiedering, 27. They're not spring chickens anymore, mate. Are these guys going to take you to your next flag?
What do you do? So if you're in charge of Carlton now, do you think reload start again, or do you think let's move some things around and try and get into the trade before the Devils come in, if that gets in?
They need to. Brad Lloyd and his team need to sit there and go, and Graham Wright, Is this team a team that is going to take us to, I wouldn't say just finals. Finals is, getting to finals is great. Can this group, don't worry about this year, in next year, when they're all a year older, can they win a final? I don't know. I don't trust them at all. And when you get rid of Kennedy, who's been brilliant, and you get rid of Owies, who was their second highest goal kicker, and now they're screaming out for a small forward, there's decisions being made. I just don't know. Now, people are saying Graham Wright will fix it. Yes. But they've got to strike while the iron's hot. So here's a controversial question, but I am going to ask it. Would you consider moving on Jacob Wiedering if you were Carlton? Or, here's the or, which I don't think is going to happen though. Would you consider moving on one of Curnow or Mackay?
Mackay, yes. I feel if you are getting rid of either a Curnow or a Wiedering, you are conceding that your list is washed, that you're starting again, you're rebuilding again.
Okay.
Do you want to take your fans through that after you've been through now 4 coaches over the last 7 years, through 5-year deal promises and all this? Do you want to go back to your 80,000 strong membership list and go, we're rebuilding again?
I'm fascinated by this because I believe they need to reload before the Tassie Devils get in. This is one team that has to reload. Big time. Do they want to sit in the friend zone? Like Essendon have. Like St Kilda have. Like my club did for many years.
How far would you cut with this? Are you looking at coaches, players, and admin surrounding support staff? Are you cutting that? Or are you going, Vossi's our guy, we're going to back you in for one more year, and we're going to retool what you've got around you?
I think they've done that though, Jdog. I think Carlton have done that too many times.
So you're talking about a massive change
I,
before the Devils.
They have to. Because if they don't, they're going to get caught out. They are going to get caught out. Big time.
Those numbers you just said there, those ages of players you just said, they're in for a world of hurt if they don't get something somehow and start bringing some youth in.
They do need.
If you're a Carlton supporter, let us know. Like, what is the youth at your team? Is it promising? Is it not good? Why aren't we seeing it more?
Can I also bring this up as well too? I loved Michael Voss as a coach, as a player. One of the best. Captain-wise, just led from the front. But you don't have to be a good player to be a great coach. And just because you're a great player doesn't make you a good coach. Chris Fagan never played AFL, premiership coach. Okay? Just because you've won flags doesn't mean that you're going to make someone that's good. Because if I have a look at Voss's record, now I'm going to go back to his Brisbane days, all right? This is where Voss's teams have finished on the ladder ever since he's coached. 6th, right, his first year. 13th, 15th, 13th, 12th. So he played finals once, made finals once. From Carlton's perspective, they were 9th, missed out. 3rd when they made that prelim, and they got blown out of the water. And then 8th last year as well. All right, when they got blown out of the water. So my concern is he has a record of where they are right now. It doesn't matter which level of players he has. It just can't get them to that next level that they need to make. It's not just him. You've got the underbelly of coaches as well. But I know they've come up. You know what? Sydney are in a very similar position as well too. They've got a new coach. Yep.
It's such a hard sell, Peps. Like, you are literally selling to the second most tortured supporter base in AFL.
The thing also, Jdog, we've got to keep in mind as well, is that Hawthorn did it. And they're going to start
come off the back of 3.
Yep, they did. But they got rid of Mitchell. They got rid of Lewis and moved these guys on. They've reaped the rewards for it. They've got a good bunch of youth in, and they're only going to build from there.
Well, we hope so.
We hope so. Essendon.
It's so different, though. It's so different.
I know. But what do you do?
You are literally talking about Teague, Bolton, Malthouse, Ratton, Voss.
It happens. It happens. But it happens. Do you remember when we spoke when he first got taken on board? There was the talk that people in Port Adelaide were almost happy in a way that he went over to Carlton. And you said it won't work, and I thought you were wrong. There's just something is not sitting right. You've got to have the heart, and this is where businesses have these conversations all the time where they slice and dice staff. What can we do now? If they came out and said we're going to move on Wiedering, would the place burn down?
Probably. I think you're conceding. Colonel
What about
you're conceding that you're doing a rebuild.
What about a Sam Walsh?
That's fine.
You move a Sam Walsh on?
Yep.
Would Carlton people be upset if Sam Walsh got moved on?
No. I don't think so.
His last 2 years haven't been that flash, have they? With his back issues, etc.
Correct.
It hasn't been the same.
Cripper? I think Cripps is in the same as me with Butters or one of those people. It's just like too much of a good player to just waste a career.
Yep.
So I think they'd be fine and happy to see him go.
Yep.
And have success, whatever that looks like. Peps, this is where I think Carlton shouldn't do what Carlton do, because I know Graham Wright's been brought in there, but sacking a coach is exactly what Carlton do. This is exactly the culture that he spoke about, the change. And yet we're genuinely on the precipice, and they could just be doing another Carlton.
We could talk about other clubs as well too, who are in a very similar position. But I'm just looking at the assets that they've got available. Do they sell high whilst they've got some value? Or do they do what Melbourne did when they were offered 2 first-rounders for Petty and went no, and now look back on that decision and go, shit, I think we got that one wrong.
Yeah. I know.
I think if a club offered something that was too irresistible to take, and I think for virtually anybody, except for probably Cripps, Curnow, Jagger Smith, he doesn't even play the game. I think there wouldn't be too many that you'd go, hands off these guys, rest you can go for it. Bit like you, wheel them up in the truck.
only clubs that have capital is St Kilda.
Yeah, why would you go?
Collingwood have nothing to offer. Yeah. Like, these big clubs have nothing to offer.
Yeah.
No picks, nothing.
Here, no picks. Exactly right. So there's going to be some trading going on. Love what's coming on the chat as well too. So everybody's been doing it. Really, really appreciate it. All right, before we wrap up this big boy, and this has been a really hardly contested episode, let's go through the fixture for this week. And it is a shortened fixture because there's four teams having a week off. Rightio, Thursday night, Brisbane versus Essendon at the Jabba. Who have you got in there?
I'm going to go Brisbane.
Same
comfortably.
here. This could be the game of the year, or it could be another fizzer. But Hawthorn versus Collingwood, or Collingwood Hawthorn at the MSG. You got to go with Collingwood, wouldn't you?
Collingwood
Just
comfortably.
playing good foot. Gold Coast Fremantle, People First Stadium.
Gold Coast.
Yeah, Fremantle. Do you reckon Fremantle have gone from GWS, then home, and then all the way back to the other side of the country again?
Yep. Well, I'm on. Sign me up. Gold Coast member 2025.
GWS Richmond.
GWS.
Yeah, GWS. Sydney Adelaide. That'll be. Tell you what, Sydney will want to even get close to that one.
Adelaide win this. Lock in finals.
Melbourne versus St Kilda at TIO Traeger Park in Northern Territory.
This is a game that I spoke to you before the show started. You're on. The lid's off for you. You're loving it. But this is the exact kind of game that Melbourne will bundle, and TIO is literally almost your haunting ground in Melbourne.
But we're not playing Freo, so it's okay. And West Coast versus
No, what
Geelong.
about you? Are you genuinely nervous at this game?
Nah, not really. After what I've seen the last few weeks and the way that they've been playing, I'm okay with this. Which is kind of fascinating because if Melbourne win this, and I say if because there is always an if, they'll be 6-6 going into Queen's birthday. Interesting.
Decent.
Yeah, decent. West Coast Geelong at Optus Stadium.
I'd love to see a West Coast win, but nah, it's unlikely.
And you're Carlton North, Melbourne, Port Adelaide, and Western Bulldogs all having the week off. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and the people from Perth, that's the round 11 review. Massive week of footy. We've got the round 12 on coming up. I've got my tips coming up this week. Wasn't too bad. I think I picked a lovely little 6 as well too. Got screwed, I think, basically on the weekend with upsets galore, but it didn't really matter because the main thing is that it's how you want your footy. It's lace out. Also got the mid-season draft coming. I was hoping to have a little bit of a preview with the great Tommy Roker, but unfortunately due to family stuff, I wasn't able to get that one done, so I apologise, but good luck to everybody who gets a chance. But more importantly, I get to thank the great man for joining me once again. And if you haven't done so, make sure you tell someone about Lace Out. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Facebook page because the more people we have, the bigger and better guests that we can have. And more importantly, we can get you more and more content delivered.
Even if it's just for our new segment.
That is the best segment ever. I'm actually going to cut that up and put it as its own little segment. What would he be?
Someone told me today at work they were watching Tiki Talkies. It's like, what's a Tiki Talkie?
And if you haven't had a chance, make sure that you head over to the Lace Out Facebook page because we had a special guest, Christos Petraka, paid a visit to celebrate his cousin Christian Petraka's 200th game.
I have some questions.
Yes.
For Christos Petraka.
Yes.
For Christos Petraka.
Yeah.
How were you doing burnouts in a front-wheel drive car? That must have been the most unimpressive burnouts.
I'll tell you what, mate. All we did was we rode the clutch and we rode the brake at the same time. It is amazing. Caroline Springs Boulevard, mate. You get all the tips from all the boys down there. There were Supras, there was WRXs, there were Foil Falcons, there was no Monaros. I think I saw.
There was Petraka's
and there
pink Mazda 3.
And there was a Mazda 3. But it was a good Mazda 3. Went past Nando's a few times, pizza speciale. Oh my God, the smell, the olives. Oh, it was like Nonna used to make.
All right, let's close it up.
Buddy.
Wasting internet.
All right, guys, have a great weekend. Hope your team wins. We'll see you next week for a massive round 12 review.
See you, listeners.